teams ready for action. Western United in their home green and black stripes, and Macarthur in their white kit today. These two average 3.6 goals per game head-to-head. They love to entertain. And it was a 4-2 come-from-behind win for Western United right here in their first A-League men's game at Ironbark Fields when they last met. Great to see fans making their way in, both in the stands and the mascots. It's the Celebrate Africa tournament weekend for Western United. That was held earlier today at Ironbark Fields, with teams from the African community getting the chance to play on an Isuzu UTE A-League men's venue. The win probability is pretty even, and that is reflected in the head-to-head record as well. 3 wins apiece and 4 draws. Western United shading the historical head-to-head goals, 20-16, but they've never won 2 in a row against Macarthur. John Aloisi makes 2 changes to the team that lost to Melbourne Victory last looking to hold down the midfield for Macarthur. They're in consistent form. Will they find a win today to revive their top 6 charge? And Western United, they just want to win some games. Speedster Jed Drew restored to the starting 11 today, looking to make a statement. And kick off the class of 2018, Western United and Macarthur FC. These two teams whose fates seem to be joined meet once again, and they entertain every time they play each other. Phil Moss, we're going to learn plenty about these two sides today.
And let's hope today is no different, Teo. Great to be alongside you. We have sat through some entertaining clashes between these two sides, but really today is about getting their seasons going. Milo Stajovski's been very vocal around the lack of consistency being his Achilles heel, or his frustration with his side. And Johnny Aloisi, well, if last week didn't lay a marker down in the sand to his players, nothing will. You could see the frustration written all over his face. with how they went down to Melbourne victory.
Long hopeful ball here. The wind is going to have a say in this game. Dino Aslana clears away. And the ball deflects out over the line, and you see it careering away. So the wind is definitely favouring the left of screen, at least in the first half. Early touch for Philip Curto. And a confidence builder for Ollie Jones. However, Vujica has given the ball away. Riku Danzaki. He's going to run here at Vujica. Of course, a former Western United player himself. Bozanovski played the ball back to Tomoki Imai. Now Angus Thurgate. Dylan Leonard. And the passing range, not quite on here, but Mossy, the wind, if anything, it's picked up right on kickoff. It's having a huge impact already. Yeah,
it certainly is, and sometimes the wind can be an advantage or disadvantage, whether you're running into it or against it, depending on how you set up and play. I'm sure it would have rated a mention in the dressing rooms before kickoff.
Both teams, of course, had the opportunity to warm up out on the ground, but if anything, it is windier now than it was during those warm-ups.
I think just going back to the John Aloisi press conference after last week, Teo, a lot's been said and made of it, but really, the Western boss was talking about the minimum expectations. You put a shirt on, you can have a bad game on the ball, but there is no excuse for not running and fighting. That is exactly the minimum expectations that any fan should have of any player that represents their club. And that's what let Johnny and all at West United down last weekend.
Curto hurried there by Wality. You see the recent form. A lot of red dots, not too many green ones there for both teams, Mossy. And that inconsistency would frustrate Macarthur, especially. Western United knew that they were going to have to build into the season. But Macarthur, their highs have been very high. They beat Sydney at Allianz Stadium, but the lows have been a little bit confounding.
Well, not to mention the first game of the season. They put 6 on Perth Glory, I think it was.
Aaron Yakalish here. Feel like he's running downhill with the wind at his back, and he can't chase the ball down here.
When you look at that performance on the opening day of the season, you thought, wow, Macarthur fans are in for a treat this season. It certainly hasn't been smooth sailing since, as we see that ball just run away from Jed Drew. And if the ball's running away from Jed Drew, you know the wind is reasonably strong.
Wality around the corner. Aslanagic trying to protect the ball, but the call didn't go Macarthur's way. He was happy to leave it, and well, maybe it just brushed his chest.
So. Yeah, good officiating. I'm happy with that. Just a touch off the chest of Aslanagic.
Ibasuki can't bring a teammate into it with his back heel. So Keely Adamson takes over. Scored his first A-League goal last weekend in that 4-4 draw. Now a long ball down the right sideline, which is going to hit the paint and then skid out. Matthew Sutton. Both the goalkeepers in this game are looking for their first clean sheet of the season. Sutton on a 9-game streak since his last clean sheet. And Philip Curto, a bit of a rarity for him, 8 games in a row since he last kept the opponent out. Bodes well for the neutral, at least, that we might be on for a few goals today. And there's nothing your goalkeeper hates more than a windy day.
No, that's right. It certainly can get in your head, particularly when the ball is in the air and swirling around. Any golfer will tell you the worst conditions you can play in is wind.
So Macarthur have not done a great deal in an attacking sense through 5.5 minutes. Get an opportunity to at least get a feeling for possession. Rose to Jones. An incisive pass, and the hustle was there in midfield from Bozanovski. Caught a deflection and it means it's a Western ball. Bodic coming off his first goal of the season last weekend. Confidence builder for him.
Yeah, it certainly was last weekend, and very well taken. The goal of a true poacher. He knew exactly where the space was. He was calm and composed and put his laces through it. Really good way to get off the mark for the season, Noah Bodic.
I have no doubt that a player like Bodic would be mindful of Nicholas Milanovic at Western Sydney, Thomas Waddingham at Brisbane. There's a whole cluster of young Australian strikers getting minutes this season, and he doesn't want to miss out on the fun. He wants goals of his own, so he's remaining ever present in the conversation about the emerging attacking talent on the Australian scene.
Yeah, and we've waited a while for a conversation like that with enough participants in the conversation. So it's great to see it starting to emerge and these young players starting to take their opportunities.
Of course, another one, Archie Goodwin, playing in the game that's kicked off concurrently to this one. Newcastle against Adelaide United. Also on the Saturday afternoon action in the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's. Right now, Western United seem a little trapped inside their defensive half, and they can't clear their lines. Good setup by Macarthur to spill possession, and now take over right at the edge of the attacking third. Bratton. Aslanagic. Adamson didn't like his options on the right side, so Macarthur will reset. Bratton. Yes. Go. Yakalish, first time ball. Germain. Buitza, one possession back. Now right up the middle goes the pass. Trying to force it there was Liam Rose. And through comes Aslanagic. This time it's just a clearance, but Yakalish, no lost causes out there when he is sprinting after the ball. Able to lose his opponent too. Marin Yakalish. Holman. Cleared twice. Both times by Thurgate. They're in the nick of time.
It was good determination from Marin Yakalish. He read the pace on the ball much better than Tate Russell did. He gave it up thinking he was going to run through, and it didn't.
Ivan Buitza, one of a number of former Western United players now in the Macarthur squad. Thomas Loverscock on the bench today for Macarthur being another. Adamson's header was just a shallow up and under that presents the ball. And now Shamoon can break. Wants Wality out on the left, but he's overhit the pass.
Well, that's an example of the wind getting into a player's head. Shamoon think he needed to put way too much on that pass and get the wind to hold it up for the willing run of Abel Wality. In the end, it just looked sloppy. I can tell you it was the wind playing its role.
A little bit of space for Macarthur here to assess the options. Ivan Buitza, Yakalish has come deep into the defensive half. And he's looking for a long diagonal ball, and you feel as though that crossfield diagonal to Jed Drew is something that they've drawn up in preparation. They've tried it twice, but haven't been able to execute just yet.
Yeah, and they've turned a blind eye to it a couple of times as well. Jed Drew, a willing runner, who had outside to in position, just along the back line. Want to exploit his pace. The ball really does have to be pinpoint with that strong breeze in the back of Macarthur.
Bratton's pass intercepted, and then a big slide challenge coming through to clean the situation up. That was great from Liam Rose. Thanks, Thurgate's been able to pick off a couple of passes now. And on that occasion, Rose wouldn't let him proceed any further.
That's good midfield play by Rose and Thurgate. No quarter asked, no quarter given. Can't help but think that will be a key battle today as well as the game unfolds.
Happy to come back and help out the defence, pick the right pass.
Well, I think the way Western defend as well, they'll be happy if Bratton drops that side. of the first line of the press. He's most dangerous when he can receive the ball in behind the front line of the press.
And it's a press that works on this occasion because Thurgate won the ball. Great turn from Isuzu. And now the first time shot. Couldn't catch a deflection there. Tate Russell across the face for a goal kick, but things unfolded very promising.
They did. It was well worked by the home side. As you see Thurgate just drive into midfield. And then that was the pass there that just probably didn't have just enough pace on it. Caught the wind holding it up a little bit, but didn't look like it was quite into the stride of Tate Russell as he would have liked to really unleash with that right foot. In the end, it looked like he was in two minds whether to strike it at goal, put his laces through it, try and pick out a teammate on the far post. Neither happened, but a good opening for the home side.
And now they win the ball in a similar position and break on a similar angle. Danzaki is going to try a long shot. Philip Curto went flying, but again, not really a threat to his net. However, where their winning possession is perhaps the sign that Western United will like.
Yeah, that's right. It's a sign of a good press, isn't it? You can see as Danzaki drives, it's kind of a different build-up, but the same outcome to the Tate Russell chance just 45 seconds earlier. You can see how hard it is to strike a ball with venom into that breeze. It just seems to be getting stronger and stronger as the game wears on, Teo.
It's the third team out there at the moment. The two sides playing against each other, and then the conditions having their say. Imai. Holman. More good skill from him. Was able to show us what he can do on the ball last time out. However, Bratton no such luck. Isuzu defending from the front. And away come Western United. Botic sends it out to Wality. First time ball is a killer, and it's saved by Curto. Somehow Danzaki denied. Well, if ever you saw a pass that could have been an assist, it was that one. And Philip Curto has come up with a top stop.
Wow, what a ball that was from Wality. If there's a pass of the season, that is already in the grand final. That was absolutely brilliant from Wality to pick out Danzaki, and credit to Philip Curto. He had to be really sharp at his back post and get across and down to effect the save. Danzaki's run as well. Absolutely outstanding phase of play from Western United.
And they win the ball here again. Isuzu, as the ball goes out at Riku Danzaki, Western United's first goal scorer at this venue. Mossy, how did he not add to his tally?
Look at that. Well, down to the goalkeeping, Philip Curto. He read the situation well, but Wality used the conditions to absolute perfection to pick out Danzaki. And Danzaki, if anything, probably didn't get enough purchase on the strike on goal that he would have liked. What a passage of play.
Hasn't scored yet this season, Danzaki. His 11 goals coming now in 65 appearances, so he pops up in semi-regular intervals. Free kick and a set piece here. It's going to be Angus Thurgate. Whips it in, and it's cleared by the near defender Holman. Shamoon. Ball will drop like a stone, hard to read in the air. Initial header falls kindly to Keely Adamson, and then a series of volleys clear the lines. And now Valère Germain in a tangle managed to extract a pass. Very clever. Yakalish is shut down though, and Western United find the safety of touch.
Tate Russell does very well there, because if he doesn't get that touch, first of all, Germain does very well to set Yakalish away. But I think Yakalish is looking to get that onto his right foot for a shot on goal there with the wind behind him. Good defending, Tate Russell.
15 minutes in and the game has come to life. Macarthur have got real speedsters that can break on the counter. And Western United starting to promising on the build-up. Vujitsa. Curto is going to be pressed all the way here, but he's a veteran head. Now the clearance. is just a kick to clear rather than a meaningful pass. See Jake Holman, the number 8, coming up with the 34-year-old French striker Valère Germain to just keep things interested. It's certainly not the most aggressive press going around from Macarthur, at least to start the game. However, Western United having their issues advancing the ball. And there is Holman on the scene. And a free kick. We'll see Macarthur turn defence into attack. It's a bit of a concern here for Rose, who's favouring his hamstring.
Yeah, that's not a good sight. The player grabs the hamstring. It's too early for a cramp. Just wonder if he felt something in that last challenge, Liam Rose.
Watch this space. He's up and moving as Macarthur go on the attack. A ball whipped in and headed high for a corner. Tate Russell in between Aslanigic and also the threatening Luke Bratton ball. The Bosnian heritage Belgian centre-back gives the thumbs up.
It's good delivery from Luke Bratton into that back post area. Uses the breeze nicely.
So first corner. Big test for Matt Sutton. He's shielding the eyes. He's got the wind to deal with in goal. Here comes Jed Drew's corner, and it's dealt with at the near post. Danzaki. As far as Buildup. Possession almost dead level. And as Ollie Jones is on the ball, you wouldn't know it's his first minutes of the season. Milos Dejovski's clearly backed him to come in sharp. Seen some nice passing from him already.
Yeah, it's certainly been the short start to the game for Ollie Jones. I guess when it will show, if it does at all, will be later in the game. Fatigue sets in. Unless, of course, there is a plan of attack, which I'm sure there would be from the coaching staff. I'm sure they wouldn't be expecting him to last 95 minutes.
Germain pressing all the way up now to the 6-yard box, but Western United able to escape. Imai. Russell. Wality, first time we've seen him over on the right flank. And he keeps the ball moving to Western United's favour. Nutmegging the referee, no less. Eventually the ball tumbles out.
He showed some great strength there, Wality, didn't he? He was under immense pressure to keep that ball and somehow managed to do so. Great story, Sasha Pisani on aleagues.com during the week, Teo, on Wality. If you haven't read it, for those viewers, please get online and have a look. Wonderful story.
You can enjoy the second screen experience or have a browse of it at halftime. Backstory of the young man who had a go at Europe and the key figures behind the scenes at Western United that got him back to Australia and have now seemingly got him full of confidence about a second crack at the A-Leagues. He's already shown us his quality so far today. Buildup. 20 minutes ticked by scoreless. Rose, seemingly no further issues to that earlier grab of his left hamstring, so good signs for Macarthur. Aslanigic heard the shout from Adamson, but can't find him with the pass.
He just got his body shape all wrong there, Aslanigic.
Now both he and Adamson have to scramble back here, but Adamson is on the scene.
Turning blind to play a pass like that for an experienced player like Aslanigic. Just need to get his body into position earlier, face the game. small details that make such a big difference.
Jones, Curto, the high wire act as he gets pressed right on his goal line. Macarthur showing good understanding of each other's movement, at least to escape the penalty area. Not much further than that. Don't forget, 7 p.m. tonight, right here where you're watching on Paramount, or you can find it on 10 and 10 Play. The Matildas taking on Chinese Taipei, not too far down the road from Ironbark Fields, from Cardinia Park. Danzaki clips the ball there, and the groans of the crowd tell the story over the head of Noah Bodic.
It was almost a delicious cross from Danzaki. Noah Bodic was straining every sinew of his neck to get there. Macarthur, the masters of their own undoing there, giving the ball away. Danzaki spots the run of Noah Bodic and just can't quite pick him out. A wonderful half chance gone begging for Western, who have had the better of the chances in this opening 22 minutes. The one for Danzaki that forced the save from Philip Curto stands out amongst them. The others have been half chances.
And a giveaway here could prompt a counter-attack. Holman, the quick field scan. He wants to know where his runners are. Yakalish is the best option. Aaron Yakalish has attracted 2 defenders, though. And the numbers went out for Western United. Bozanovski. Wality, pass was behind him, not really to his advantage. Adamson and Wality forges forward. Adamson backtracking. How much juice as Wality got left? It was sprinting initially, then it decelerated and became another grind, and he wins a free kick.
He's done very well there, Wality. Not for the first time this afternoon already. We've seen him use his strength. That time against Keely Adamson. He just draws the second defender as well. He knows he hasn't got a lot of support or options. There's Jed Drew that joins in.
Has Adamson got a case there, because we saw his shorts and he's grabbing Wality. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but it's a free kick in a dangerous position, the result. Protests count for little because it is a Western United set piece. Thurgate leaves it for Wality. And it curves away at the edge of the 6-yard box. Ibasuki blocked. A wall of defenders in his path. Macarthur had the bodies where they needed them. And Hiroshi Ibasuki is foiled.
Gee, he uses his body well, doesn't he? Ibasuki. Look at this, just the way he cushions it on his chest. Still gets his volley away. There was too many white shirts around him for him to find a path to goal. It was well defended in the end by Macarthur.
Well, Macarthur can probably argue they've got a good plan for Ibasuki. It's his 8th appearance against them today. He's only scored the once, and that was for Adelaide back in April 2022. So 2.5 solid years since he last found the back of the net against the Bulls.
You might have just guaranteed him a goal this afternoon, Taya.
Well, if there are things we could do to guarantee goals, we would. I'm sure that's what Western United fans are hoping for. And also the contingent of J-League fans that still follow the progress of their alumni playing in Australia. Jed Drew doubles back, keeps possession. Germain really smooth touch. His movement was able to lose the attention there and win a foul.
How good was that? Just a sleight of foot. First of all, Jed Drew works really hard to keep possession. Plays the ball inside. Look at that from Germain. Just real spatial awareness and technical ability. Take the ball to where the space was, draw the foul in a really good area for Macarthur, it must be said, with that wind in their back.
As Macarthur set up this free kick, Germain, who must be hanging out for a chance close to goal. Look at this, he's gone and planted himself a good 5 metres offside here. So they've cooked up something on the training pitch. now he walks back almost and is in an onside position. Bratton whips the ball in. Shamoon, first header. Zlanagic hooks it over the shoulder, but it wasn't to his teammate's favour. Bratton, second ball. And it catches a deflection which will end up in the arms of Sutton. Well, whatever Valère Germain was plotting there at that set piece, we didn't really get an answer. Maybe we'll see it next time they have a free kick near the box.
Well, sometimes attacking players go and stand well offside just to put doubt in the minds of the defensive line. Sometimes they can be used as a blocker. Not always getting away with it with the referees these days. They've wised up to the art of the block.
Nothing splitting the teams at the moment, no matter where you look. Weird. Takes 20 metres, takes 20 more. Jakalic. Buietza continues his run ahead of the ball. Jakalic, a deflected cross. Holman heard the shout, leaves it for Adamson. It's a top save from Sutton. Around the post it goes, and Keely Adamson, who got a taste of scoring A-League goals last week, nearly made it 2 in 2.
Well, there were 4 eyes on only 2 things there. Keely Adamson's set of eyes was on the back of the net. Sam Sutton's was on Keely Adamson's shot. What a wonderful save that is. That's a brilliant strike by Adamson. He knew exactly where he was going, and Sutton was up to the task. Fantastic goalkeeping.
Drew taking the corners from both sides, this time short. Jakalic, Drew. Underhit cross. Holman follows up. Series of deflections. And Western United scrambling to avoid conceding a corner on the other side. Zlanagic, Adamson. Holman. Zlanagic hasn't been the sharpest start to the game. Let's enjoy that shot again.
Look at that. That's a great angle, isn't it, from our cameras. Behind that shot, heading right for the top corner. And Matt Sutton, gee whiz, what a top-class save that is.
He's been backed this season over the more experienced Tom Hewitt-Bell, who would have gone to Western United in search of first-team football, but it is Sutton who's got the gloves. As we see Tate Russell addressing that diagonal ball. Sutton, who's definitely done his time as a deputy, both at City and Victory. To string together consistent games really for the first time in his A-League career, showing us his abilities in between the sticks. Ibasuki drawn right up to the edge of his defensive third, coughs up the ball. Holman deflected off the back of Leonard. Danger not yet averted. Adamson is trying to keep Wallerty accountable down that flank by getting forward whenever he can, trying to drag the Western United winger back with him. Jones and Holman a little bit hot with the passing. Rose had to lunge in. Germain can't bring that high ball out of the sky. Leonard in 2 minds about where to go. Finds a gap, finds the pass. Now Bozanovsky ran into trouble. And that trouble was Keely Adamson, who won the ball and now repels. He's bitten off more than he can chew. Thurgate's turn, counter on counter. Away it goes through the right flank, bending away from Danzaki. He can go to work here against Buietza. Riku Danzaki. Too close to the keeper, batted down by Kerner.
Starting to get a nice open feel about this game, Teo. No, we've got no goals to show for it at this stage. Both teams producing some end-to-end football. He just mentioned Sutton there, and Western giving him a chance after doing his apprenticeship. Tom Hewitt-Bell was another one that came to mind. Tony Aloisi and his staff gave a chance to last season, I think it was. We're afraid to back a traditional number 2 into the number 1 position at Western.
Danzaki bided his time. Tate Russell takes the ball and goes. Russell squares it. Ibusuki! Somehow it's missed the bottom corner. And Hiroshi Ibusuki can't believe it.
Well, wonderful play down the right-hand side. Danzaki into the path of Tate Russell overlapping, and then this is wonderful delivery. He picks the pass, and I thought that was the moment the commentator's curse was going to hit Teo. I thought Ibusuki was going to score against Macarthur. You would have almost put your house on it, and all the property in Tarneet. Not to be.
It's a couple of golden chances for Western United's Japanese connections. Danzaki earlier in the half. And now Ibusuki just after the half-hour mark. They will feel as though they've done enough to open the scoring here. And Macarthur, well, they may have shipped 4 last weekend. They don't appear to be a great deal more secure, but at least the 0 is intact next to their name for now. Rose shows his disappointment with a foul call. Here's another look. Western United going backwards from the resulting free kick. Lennon, Wality, Thurgate. Bodic stepping over the pass. That allowed Jones to mop up for Macarthur. Thurgate right into the traffic. Western United have thought their way through it. Thurgate! And a clearance in the nick of time. Vujica prevented the ball getting to Ibusuki.
Well, that's the second time in a matter of minutes where the second, or the third man run, I should say, has really hurt Macarthur. This time it's Thurgate on the left-hand side. Last time it was Tate Russell on the right-hand side.
Wasting any time from the throw in. Look at the ball affected by the wind. It falls at the edge of the box. Bratton, the ball is objective, and now Holman keeps it moving. He's going to hit Jed Drew in stride. Sprinters through the middle. Western United getting numbers back to cover. Drew fires on his left, and it goes just over the bar.
Well, it was enough to get Sutton off the ground and diving at full stretch. Jed Drew does really well to chase this one down. That doesn't get away from him. Cuts inside onto his left foot. And just thought for a moment he was going to bring that down quickly enough to nestle in that far top corner. You can see by the expression on his face how close that was. Good opening for Macarthur.
10 minutes of regulation, plus stoppage until half-time. It's Jed Drew. 1 goal so far this season. Narrowly missing a chance at his second. Aslanigic. Bratton. Kurto asking plenty of Vujica, but he answers. Now Jakalic, Holman, Vujica. Jakalic again. Jaman. And the sting taken out of the shot by the youngster Leonard.
Leonard did really well there. He didn't panic in that situation. It was your man on the ball. He just made sure he got his body between player and the goal to block the shot. And he needed to with that win behind your man. He got some purchase on that strike.
This time the midfield wins possession. Thurgate. Bodic out to Wality. Ibasuki waits in the box. Wality loses Adamson, but then Adamson recovers. The one-on-one defending between those two continues. Wality went to ground, wasn't fouled. And eventually Adamson gets the little win. It's been a great one-on-one duel between Adamson at right back and Wality over on the left wing. And it might not be done for now, as the follow-up is coming here. Bodic clips it out to the left. Wality can't make ground on this occasion.
I think he was just gassed. Quite literally, Wality. After this interaction with Keely Adamson, again showing some great strength. But Keely Adamson did well here as well. Stuck to his task. Jed Drew coming in for reinforcements. Thought maybe there might have been a foul there. Not given.
Who moved from Sydney FC, playing his 20th game today, so went for opportunity and has definitely been getting it at Macarthur. Long clearance here from Curto, ahead of Jed Drew. Seemingly in no hurry. Let's a look at how they've favoured the left flank. Wality's flanked so far in the game. Very little attacking through the middle, Mossy. It's pretty much wing heavy on both sides.
Yeah, that's right. There's been plenty of football played in midfield, but it's basically to release the wide areas. Both sides have made decent headway in those wide areas, particularly probably Western. Had the better of the chances.
That pass exploding off the boots and straight out for a goal kick, so a bit of a waste. Nothing that Aaron Yakalish could do about that. Luke Bratton spraying those passes from midfield. Now the press is on in earnest. Imai. He's got his hands full here with Holman. And Tate Russell gives up the ball. Yakalish. Rose. Clearance from Leonard once. Sliced away the second time. Now Danzaki gets clean purchase on the ball. He invited the pressure on there, Western United. Now Tate Russell trying to escape. He's been caught on the ball again, though. Yakalish. The cutback's on and cleared out by Thurgate. It caught a deflection too. Looks as though Holman got the last touch.
Yeah, I think he just overran that near post, Holman. Just needed to hold his space. Some really good work down the left-hand side, which releases Yakalish into the box. Then he drives deep. You can see Holman's just outside that near post area. Very, very acute angle to finish from.
A shout must have come from the bench here, because Macarthur are committing numbers up to the press like we haven't seen so far in the half. So with the 45-minute mark moving into sight, they're trying to finish the first half with a bang. Will it leave gaps behind them though? Thurgate can't produce a defence-splitting pass.
Yeah, just out of the blue, they started really hunting in numbers, didn't they, Macarthur? Almost paid dividends.
Zlanagic. That trust in Curto right back on his goal line, still very much there. The clearance, not very subtle shove, but the referee takes no interest. He was right there on the scene, Alex King. And away comes Thurgate. Wality making the run on the outside. First time cross and cleared away. Ibasuki just stuck behind the defenders there.
Well, the break happened so quickly down the left-hand side. Ibasuki couldn't get there in time. Look at this from Wallity. And he puts it into a good area. I think it was Noah Bodic had pulled off into a great area as well. Had Wallity seen him, been able to pull the ball back. Really good striker's run from Noah Bodic there. One run for the defender, one run for himself, as we used to say on the training pitch.
This Wallity duel against Adamson continues to be the centre of excitement in the game. Now it's Jed Drew's turn to help out the defence. Wallity, Thurgate, whose concentration will hold to half-time. Tangle for Shamoon, lost the ball between his feet, and now Holman flips it on. Jed Drew. Initial touch out in front. Now he's got Thurgate to deal with and can't find a way past. Chris Thurgate playing A-League game number 150 today. Of course, the vast majority for the Newcastle Jets. Adamson. It's a little bit of space. Akalish telegraphed the flick on, and MI stole the ball away. He's got Danzaki moving down the right flank. It's Riku Danzaki, cuts inside, trying to lose Rose. Wallity is going to load up and fire! And it's batted down. Philip Curto makes the save.
And it was a smart save down to his left-hand side, wasn't it? Well, the disappointing thing from West United's point of view is no one was following that in. A good opening, well read by MI to release Danzaki down the right-hand side.
Yakalish, a high cross to no one in particular. Again, you saw in the build-up there, Matt Sutton shielding his eyes when the ball's over on the left flank for Macarthur, but let's go back to the earlier chance for Wallity.
Yeah, it's a good strike by Wallity. Curto gets down well. It was just only half a sniff had there been a Western player following it in. And Curto had it comfortably under his control. But again, on the way to chances, Aloisi will be disappointed not to go in should it stay this way. With at least a one-goal advantage. Also that incredible save from Matt Sutton off the boot of Keely Adamson.
Jed Drew veering back out to the right. Valère Germain whips in a ball, and in the end, Tamaki MI had to take evasive action because it was keeper's ball in the end. Matt Sutton able to bring it under his command. And that will take us into stoppage time at the end of the first half. It's had everything but a goal this game. And where these two have previously engaged in high-scoring shootouts, it's starting to become apparent that the first goal today could be very, very important. Only one additional minute at the end of the first half. Jones wastes no time. Rose, now Holman, trying to find a way to get around his marker in MI, and he wins a free kick.
This could well be the last kick of the first half. So they're going to send the cavalry forward, Macarthur.
Could make a really big change to the tone of the game if they can strike here in the very last phase of play before half-time. Bratton loaded up like he was going to shoot. It tumbled to the edge of the box, and it proves harmless in the end.
Well, I was just thinking with Bratton's bazooka of a right foot, now he's got a wonderful range of passing. With that wind in his back, I'm not surprised he went for it last kick of the first half.
So no goals to show for a first half full of attacking intent. Upper Wallaty's duel with Keely Adamson among the highlights. There's been lots of promise and plenty of attacking intent, but the finishing touch has evaded both teams so far. Fascinating what direction this game will go in the second half, because for now, it's Western United 0, Macarthur FC 0. Stay with us, the halftime show featuring a special guest on the other side of this short break.
With the cross in, and there's the goal, and it's Tash Breyer in just her second appearance for the national team. Gilnick shoots off the crossbar, and it's a first ever Matilda's goal for Sian Fryer. Briley Henry arriving at the back post, and she scores! And Briley Henry has her first goal.
Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. It has been a compelling but ultimately scoreless game between Western United and Macarthur, and Phil Moss, because of moments like this from Philip Curto to deny Riku Danzaki.
Yeah, that's right. That was a really sharp save, but what a pass from Wallaty to set Danzaki up for that opportunity. And I think Western have really used the wind to their advantage in that first 45 minutes.
So the fans at Tarneet hoping for a goal for the home side, and well, we will see just how close they came in that first half. not for a lack of trying. As we get into the Harvey Norman highlights, Western United definitely took the initiative in this match, and then Macarthur were able to forge a few chances of their own.
Yeah, they were. I thought it was a really good open half of football, considering the strong breeze and conditions. There were times where Macarthur threatened. There were times where Western used the wind to make the ball hold up and get in behind Macarthur. Here's another opportunity. A lot of it did come down the right-hand side. Danzaki trying to set up Noah Bodic with almost a delicious cross. And here's Yarkalish doing the same for Macarthur. Here's that strike from Keely Adamson. Look at that. That is going right where the Spiders live, in the top corner, until Sutton says, no, it's not. I've got other things to say about that. This was the overlap from Tate Russell down the right-hand side, who picks out Ubusuki. You would have put your house and everything else on it for him to score that opportunity, but he missed the target completely.
This game's only going to stretch as the second half goes on, isn't it? If we're seeing end-to-end football like this in the first half, it would suggest that we're going to get a bit more breaking into open space in the second.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Both teams now into the rhythm of what the conditions mean, and Jed Drew not far away there. Danzaki again causing problems in that first half down the right-hand side. Wallity with a really good strike. No one following it in for Western. Curto had it under control. But another good opening for the home side.
Here are the numbers. Does anything jump out at you that the eye test didn't from that first 45?
Not really. I think a pretty even contest. I think probably Western have just shaded the expected goals, which is to be expected. They had the better of the chances. Philip Curto, the busier of the two goalkeepers, but I think a draw is a fair result at half-time, although Johnny will probably be disappointed more so than Millet that his side is not ahead.
So we're waiting for that first goal. We're going to get some players' perspective now, because Ben Garuccio from Western United joins us. Ben, thanks for jumping on the headset. Firstly, your own injury. We heard from John Aloisi it was a calf last week. What's your estimated return date at the moment?
Yeah, I was hoping to push for today actually, but just didn't make it. So I'm going to be pushing really hard for next week. It's been a bit of a frustrating start of the season for me personally, but the boys have bounced back really, really well today. I think it's really, really bright in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, Benny, your boss wasn't too happy at full-time last week. He let everyone know about it. Do you think he's got the first half reaction that he was looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the boys were really, really bright. I heard you just say that you thought a draw was a fair result, Mossy. I think we had really, really good chances in that first half. I think apart from the Adamson shot that was probably going for the top corner, it was a great save from Sutto. They didn't have too much. So I think it was a really, really great first half from the lads.
Absolutely. So where are you going to win it? Is it going to be off the bench in the second half, Benny, or is it going to be much of the same in the second half, although the conditions will change, obviously?
Yeah, look, I think the cross across from Abel to Riku Danzaki in the first half, that's basically, Curto's made a great save on the line, and then the other one from Tate Russell to Hiroshi, where he's put it just past the post. I'd back, Hiroshi 9 times out of 10 to score that. So I think if we keep creating the same chances that we did in the first half, we'll be in for a good shout in the second half.
Tell us a bit about one of your teammates, Dylan Leonard. He's come straight back into the starting 11 after being suspended for his red card. How did he handle the week where he was out suspended, and what does it say about his professionalism that he's straight back into the starting 11?
Yeah, he's a fantastic talent. I think you've probably all seen from the games that he's played so far. At the start of your career, we joked about it, that he's got the bingo card. He had an own goal, a red card, and an assist. But he really is just a great talent. He's looked so comfortable for 17 years old. You've got to just tip your hat. And even today, he's looked really, really good on the ball. So I think it says a lot when a coach is bringing you straight back in after a red card. You're only 17 years old. He's doing really well. And
last one, the wind. Is it going to ease up at all, or is this going to be the third opponent out there?
I feel like I'm about to blow across the pitch. We're going with it in the second half, which should help a little bit. Macarthur went long though in the first half, and you saw it didn't get much change out of it. Obviously it's really, really strong across here, so hopefully we can look to play out. I don't think we're going to get too much out of the long balls, because they're just going out for goal kicks or throw-ins, so we'll see.
Ben, thanks for your insight. Good luck with your own recovery from injury, and we look forward to seeing you back out there playing soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.
Big thanks to Ben Garuccio and for Western United setting up that halftime chat. Here's the Paramount Plus Player Index. Phil Moss, what do you make of it? Dominated by Macarthur players.
Yeah, interesting, and I did agree with Ben. I And I did say that I thought Johnny Aloisi would be the more disappointed of the two coaches going in at half-time without a lead. But, yeah, interesting there. I probably would have put a couple of other Western United players in that top five, particularly the likes of Dan Zaki. I think he's been electric in that first half, and Thurgate as well. But it is what it is. They're the numbers at half-time. Let's see if they're the same at the 95th minute mark.
Let's get into what else is going on around the Isuzu UTE A-League men's, because it's a busy day of action in this competition. And you see there the live game going on at the moment. Adelaide via Stephen Mork leading 1-0 against the Newcastle Jets. And of course tomorrow a couple of big games between Victory in Perth and the Mariners and Sydney FC. And how about that New Zealand derby earlier today, Mossy? Auckland, they finally conceded a goal, but not before they had a 2-0 safety net of their own.
Oh, they've just got this tsunami of momentum, haven't they, Auckland, at the moment. There he is, Steve Corica, celebrating in fine style. He's done a brilliant job so far with the new club, and I thought they were the better side on the day and fully deserved this win, albeit that Wellington did come back into it with the goal, the first time Auckland have been breached, and it had to be Costa Barbarouses, didn't it? He's in sparkling form, Costa, a wily veteran, but just knows where the back of the net is.
Amazing tension at the finish line. The fans definitely played a role. Matildas versus Chinese Taipei is about to kick off on 10 Play, Paramount Plus and 10 Football. So get your phone, get your tablet, get your laptop. Enjoy all the football going on at the moment across the 10 and Paramount Plus offerings this evening. Second half not far away. There's the Burundian flag flying in the background at Tarneit. This has been the Hungry Jacks halftime show. And we are, after a little bit of a look back in time through the great moments of the A-League, off to a break and then back with the second half soon.
Oh, cheeky! Oh! That is unbelievable! And who else? Alessandro Diamanti. His surname translates to diamond in Italian, and diamond he most certainly is. That is incredible!
Welcome back to live pictures from Ironbark Fields in the outer western suburbs of Melbourne. Abel Wality and Western United trying to find a way through the Macarthur defence. Western United have never won consecutive games head-to-head against Macarthur, who themselves, having conceded 4 goals last weekend, have ridden their luck at times defensively today, but will be harbouring ambitions of winning on the road and taking 3 precious points back to the west of Sydney. Noah Bodic limited in his looks at goal in the first half. The young striker hoping to score in consecutive games here. And the wind has not exactly died down. It was one of the storylines from that first half. Now it's Western's turn to have it at their backs and Macarthur's turn to attack into it here in the second 45. And as that whistle gets us back underway, Phil Moss, we heard from Ben Garuccio at halftime saying he thought that Macarthur playing long balls was a bit of a waste and that Western United might approach things differently. What do you think the characteristics will be as these teams flip the field and go in the opposite direction?
Well, I won't go against the insider knowledge of Ben Garuccio. It's obviously the message in the dressing room is to keep the ball on the deck as much as possible and play short and use the conditions to their advantage. But I guarantee you, if they're within sight of goal, outside or inside the penalty box, they'll be letting rip and hoping that the breeze can do the rest.
Riku Danzaki here, hoping for Wality, but that will run long, and Philip Curto is able to field the ball.
Right on cue, we see a long ball from Western United that runs through with the wind in its back. But I think actually Western used the breeze quite smartly in the first half. They were into it, obviously. They certainly created enough chances.
They might have another one with the wind at their backs. Advantage given. Ibasuki can't find space to shoot. Now on the tight angle. It bends across the face and out. Enough chance there. Western United left frustrated as Bozanovski loaded up.
Well, it was enough to worry Curto as he left the ground at full stretch. I would have been very surprised had Bozanovski been able to find the back of the net from that angle with an outswinger.
He's never scored an A-League goal, Reece Bozanovski, and would you believe, he's never played a full 90. He's started 4 times and been subbed off in all 4, and his other 27 appearances have been as a sub Mossy, so he'll be hoping to play his first full 90 today. If he adds his first goal, that would make it even better.
Nothing beats clarity of goals. He's got 2 very clear ones there.
No bookings in the first half. Clean bill of health and discipline for both teams. Neither team has turned to the bench just yet. Ibasuki flicking on. Danzaki. Ibasuki from a tight angle, saved by Curto, and then volleyed away by Buildup.
Well, they're already starting to huff and puff, Western United, aren't they? Early in this second half, Danzaki into the feet of Ibasuki. He gets a sider on goal. It's going to take a miracle to beat the goalkeeper of Philip Curto's quality from that angle at his near post. Just another sighter.
Russell this time played through on the underlap, but not able to run the ball down. 3 minutes, all Western United out of the halftime rooms. And Macarthur thinking it through over this goal kick, and Curto says, let's not get too cute. Out you go, even into the wind. I'm going to go for distance.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. Too often in modern football we see teams try and play out from the back no matter what. We've seen plenty of goals coughed up because of it. Sometimes if the opposition is well set up to press, it makes a lot more sense to go long, reset, win the second ball.
Winning the second ball deep down in the left back corner is what Macarthur have had to do, but a foul might get them out of their defensive half here. Well, that's a great shout from the stands.
I'd like to think it's going to take more than a gust of wind to put Holman on the ground.
Curto's got a hustle here. He had a pass on Rose. And now Adamson, and last touch off the Macarthur defender. Shamoon wanted to go quickly, but no one's really on for him. Charbel Shamoon hurls it towards Bottage. Holman. Macarthur backing again the tight network of passing to find an opening, and Jed drew the speedsters away. Wailiti got back goal side. Rose directing traffic. Aslanigic back to his keeper.
Well, it's a good press again from Western. They were in sync. They were well organised. Macarthur were doing well to play out at one stage, but Western regained the upper hand.
Rose to Bratton. Again, look at the ball. It's going to have backspin on it, such is the nature of the wind. And that favoured Shamoon. He finds Bottage. Bottage defers now to Danzaki. And Riku Danzaki's had chances on his right foot and his left. This time he can't hit the target.
It was almost a very assured finish from Danzaki. He used the pace on the ball from Bottage. The wind behind him almost to perfection there to pick out the far bottom corner of Philip Curto's goal. They're coming, Western.
Mile Stajovski, hands in his pockets as he watches from the technical area. Will he turn to the bench? Does he have a circuit breaker here? It's been 6 minutes of one-way traffic to start the second half. Western United are threatening. Wailiti wins another throw.
I have to say as well, it was a good advantage played by Alex King on the edge of the box. Probably could have blown for the foul on Bottage. A good slow whistle always beats a bad fast one.
Shamoon looked a bit foul throwish as the ball tumbles on. Ibasuki making a presence, but the ball is extracted away. Adamson hooks it down the line. Leonard, second ball now for Holman, but covering defender Imai is across. John Aloisi still yet to tend to his bench as well. He's found the jacket at half-time though. He was wearing just the shirt in the first half.
Yeah, look, and I think he also found the reaction in the first half he was looking for post last week.
Giveaway was really dangerous there. Bozanovski couldn't capitalise. Foul throw, Mossy. You be the judge, you be the ref. Well, he's over the line for starters.
Take your pick on how that's a foul, but I'm not sure there is such a thing as a foul throw in football these days. They seem to get away with a lot of things when it comes to throw-ins.
Just factor in with the wind at their backs. Could be that little bit more of an attacking weapon. The long throw in the second half for Western United. You didn't see Macarthur try it at any point when they were attacking the left of your screens in the first half. Bottage legged here. Aslak. Edge couldn't get the ball away. And now a crunching slight challenge. And the late contact does draw the attention of Alex King. And the first yellow card of the game for Dino Aslanigic.
And good refereeing again, Alex King playing the advantage. Seeing what came of it. Aslanigic was late on Bozanovski. Ibasuki couldn't make the touch count for a strike on goal, so it comes back for the free kick in a decent area, given the strength of the breeze in Western's back.
Gee, it was a crunching challenge, and Bozanovski, lucky he was nimble on his feet there because that was solid contact. Yellow card, and first of the game.
Yeah, just going back to that reaction I was speaking about too. Johnny would be happy with the reaction he got in the first half, but if it doesn't lay the foundation for a win, expect him to be cranky again.
Wailiti, well, it's very much shooting range. Look at the power generated, but that was almost over 2 sets of goals.
Yeah, that's a wasted opportunity. In that area, with that breeze in your back, you've really got to at least put pressure on the opposition goalkeeper.
One goal kick results in another. Macarthur really struggling to break out of their defensive half. Wality is only 20 years old today. It's only his 10th A-League men's game. Scored in April last season against the Perth Glory. His one and only goal to date, of course, was at the centre of that controversial non-penalty decision in Adelaide earlier in the season. He was the player that I think everyone, to a man, except maybe those in the VAR booth and the central referee, thought was fouled. Here's Germain, starved of opportunities today, but in close quarters, he can always use his presence of mind. You hear the oohs and ahs of the crowd because that ball just went straight up and down. Through comes Leonard, and now Wality. Away he goes. And very well defended. Well, Aslanovic, he's got to be careful. He is on a yellow card. The foul didn't seem too sinister, but the blow-up afterwards was quite the reaction.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. There's another referee in this league, I think we all know. He probably wouldn't have stood for that. There's a shove, so it is a foul. But you can put this moment here for Western down to a crunching challenge by young Dylan Leonard in his own half. He went through two players, I think it was Holman and Germain, with no regard for his own safety. Won the ball cleanly and set Wality on his way. Brilliant defending.
Plenty of threat at this set piece. The potential to slide direct on target. Want to bring teammates into the equation. It's Thurgate, and he doesn't beat Holman. Well covered by Macarthur. Wality against Holman, sidesteps him, but showed a lot of the ball to Jedru. He's able to sink the slipper. Russell. Danzaki. Riku Danzaki, just a tumbler in the end, but he'll get a second chance. At the edge of the box. And some of these shots are exploding off the feet.
Here's that challenge I was talking, well, that's what resulted in it. It was an earlier challenge from Dylan Leonard. There it is there. What a brilliant challenge that is from a young defender. Showing so much belief and courage. And that's what set the transition to attack up for his side.
Brave from Holman, rode the contact from Shamoon. However, it's Western United's ball. Can they capitalise and cash in here? The second half has belonged to them so far. Macarthur, in the first half, they at least had the threat of the fast break in the counter-attack. That seems to have gone into its shell for now, but a mistake, well, could invite them on. Imai hurried the ball away before anything could go awry. What is Macarthur's path to a goal at the moment?
Well, I think more sustained possession for a start, and playing through the lines and getting the ball into some areas that can build pressure on the home side. Just seem to be struggling to get it out of midfield into the top third.
Exchange of headers. That one slid sideways from Rose, but the clean-up job by Bratton. Out to Vujica. Certainly not as prominent as the first half. Ivan Vujica. Really on offer for him at left back here in the second half. Defending is the focus, and Vujica commits a foul right on cue, knocking over Bottage.
I think you've also got to give credit to Western's press and their counter press as well. It's quite synchronised, well organised, and quite aggressive as well. Macarthur just struggling to deal with it.
So this brains trust over the set pieces. It's been Wality for left footers, Thurgate for right footers at every free kick of the game so far. And this time it's Thurgate's turn. He hangs the ball up to the penalty spot where Adamson stooped to the header. Hard to make a counter-attack out of such an awkward bounce, but Macarthur are going to try their best. Jed Drew in a sprint, Thurgate chasing. And Thurgate timed his slide tackle.
That's great defending from Thurgate. He's a defensive midfielder. Just read the situation really well. Didn't dive in too early. Waited for his opportunity to win the ball and take the pressure off his team.
Zanovsky to Wality. Abel Wality wants his left side. And perhaps for Itsunu, just waited for him to turn away from the penalty area.
I think Wality's pulled up a little bit lame there. He's just carrying something.
Leonard, crossfield ball. Yeah, you were onto it in a flash here, Mossy. Hopefully it's something he can run off. Oh, he goes to ground.
Not sure if that was as he took off. Just looks there. His second touch looks as though it's a cramp.
So a double change coming up here for Macarthur. Dean Bosniak has come on here for Jed Drew. And it's also going to be Danny De Silva waiting for his teammate to leave the ground over on the opposite side seemingly before he goes and sprints on. Nope, they're going to allow Holman here all the time to walk off over to the bench. So the youthful attack of Dean Bosniak comes on, and Holman, who was on the bench last week, is leaving the game after an hour here today. Danny De Silva comes on. th A-League game for De Silva, who scored his first goal of the season last weekend. Abel Wality's number looks like it's going to be up, so this really is unfortunate after an hour. Hopefully this is not a soft tissue injury. And the hero of last season's meeting between the teams, Matt Grimaldi, whose goal was the winner. These sides faced right here at Ironbark. He put Western United into a 3-2 lead at the time. They would go on to win 4-2. He comes on for Wality. So the conveyor belt of young talent continues as 21-year-old Grimaldi comes on for appearance number 30, but that is not how anyone wanted to see Abel Wality's match come to an end.
No, I just wonder if it was maybe his left ankle or calf. Either way, he can't continue. He's been very, very impressive this afternoon, Wality.
So will the subs make a difference as Macarthur try to halt Western United's momentum? There's Dean Bosniak. He's come on for just his 5th appearance, the 18-year-old. 9 goals in New South Wales League 1 for the Bulls Academy team over winter. Rewarded with opportunities at A-League level. Thurgate, as the ball is cleared.
Well, that's another example of why Macarthur keep putting themselves under pressure. Yarkalish just too sloppy, bringing the ball out from defence, giving it away far too easily to Thurgate.
And the ball versus the wind. The line loomed large. Grimaldi not able to make an instant impact. 5 goals in his 30 appearances now at Grimaldi. Away by Rose. Thurgate. Planted.
It's another example, Oteo. Just not protecting the ball well enough, Macarthur. They do get possession. They need to build sensibly into good areas of the pitch to start putting some pressure on Western. Instead, they're giving it away far too cheaply. And Western are returning the pressure with interest.
The applause is for Abel Wality as he has made the long walk around the perimeter of the pitch. Here comes the free kick in the meantime, and not for the first time in this half. The near defender is able to stop it getting to anyone else in the box. Thurgate's header on. Rose keeps it from Ibasuki. Bozanovsky wheels onto the ball. A burst of acceleration. And just a shallow cross, which is half volleyed away. Just seems in the crunch moments that Western United's set-piece delivery and passing into the penalty area has abandoned them a bit.
Yeah, 2 great examples there. It's not good enough from the set-piece, and Bozanovsky had done all the hard work. Just needed to give the ball a bit more flight. Potentially pace. Gave it neither.
Thurgate through the right channel, and now the cross lifted in. Solid header from Adamson. Bot edge. Thurgate straight into the pack of players, though. Couldn't get through a sea of legs, and De Silva swoops onto the ball to clear. Shaman with it all to do. Can't get the better of Shamoon. And we've got a player down here, and the referee is going to whistle play dead. And it's Luke Bratton who's down.
It was in this challenge with Thurgate. It looks like he just cops a straight forearm or elbow just into the right side of his jaw there. I don't think there's any ill intent from Thurgate. He's trying to keep his balance, but Bratton's not one to go down easily.
And looking at the bench, Mossy, they have the youngster Franz Deli, who did start for the first time in the league last week. He's only 19 years old, though. I think the veteran presence of Bratton is someone that they don't really want to leave the game unless he literally can't go. No,
that's right. His experience and his ability to dictate the tempo. Well, yeah, it certainly hasn't had too many opportunities today, just through his side's inability to keep possession. He'll afford to lose his experience with just on half an hour to go.
Bratton does come sprinting back on after a brief moment of assessment from the medical staff, and so 20 minutes now into this second 45. That raft of substitutions has just robbed Western United of a little bit of the momentum that they were building. So in a sense, it's part of the job done for Macarthur. They're not getting any closer to a goal of their own, though. The match still primarily takes place Western United's attacking half. Vujits is trying to change all that. Flipped on here, De Silva. He's the new face off the bench trying to make something happen, but can't really make any forward progress. Stooping to the header was Bratton. De Silva, full of energy. Yakalish. That tells quite a story. 63 passes to 11 in the opposing half. And the shot count as well, 6 to love.
Well, I was just thinking with that last burst up the left-hand side for Macarthur, it's the first time I can remember them that deep in Western territory.
Crowd rises here, Western United on the move. It's a great weaving run. No, and just wide of the post. Agonising for Grimaldi. Nearly repeating the dose of last season.
Well, time just stood still, didn't it? You were just waiting for the net to bulge on the far side. Grimaldi with a mesmerising run on the Harvey Norman replay. And then he lets rip. He just didn't quite get enough reverse swing on the strike, if you like. But look at this. He sets up his chance so well, and then you've got Bodic on the far post, who's probably regretting just not buying a ticket. He may have been there for a tap-in had he continued his run. But another huge opportunity for Western gone begging.
Well, it's exciting stuff, but they need an end product to show for it. Macarthur just haven't turned the momentum. It's Western United's game to take by the scruff of the neck. Solid header from Rose, now Bratton. Immediately under pressure from Grimaldi. Here's Bosniak. Loses the ball initially to Danzaki and finds his way out for a throw. Danzaki and then Grimaldi, well, wrapped his hands around Danny De Silva there. No subtlety whatsoever, and a yellow card. Western United's first player in the book.
Well, he took one for the team there, Bozanovski. I think he sensed the sharpness of De Silva's first touch. Sensed a little bit of danger if he let him get away from him. Thought, no, you're not going anywhere.
Well, I flagged earlier in the half that Reece Bozanovski is yet to play a full 90, and now that he's on a card, that might prompt Western United to think about a replacement. Watch this space. Danzaki. Bozanovski straight back to business in this Western United midfield. Imai, Thurgate. Bit of a scrag around the neck of Grimaldi. Bodic legged as well. Play continues. Bratton. Oh, it's been coughed up. And Bodic spectacularly flew through.
Well, that would have been a wonder strike. Hadn't been able to find the back of the net, but it's now just getting to that stage of the game, Teo, where you just sense if Western don't take one of these opportunities, they might just be susceptible to the sucker punch.
Well, I'm not sure Macarthur would have drawn up a rope-a-dope plan, but it's starting to become plan A. Hope that Western United can tire themselves and then maybe remain vulnerable to the counter-attacking style we saw Macarthur try in the first half. It's gone very much into its shell here in the second. Long shot here. Oh, just wide. Bozanovski, he's on the hunt for that first A-League goal. Not his first sighter of the day.
Well, he wants 90 minutes and he wants a goal to his name, Bozanovski, doesn't he? Almost as if he's got earphones in during the game, Teo, listening to your commentary. That's not a bad strike.
And the net behind Philip Curto, showing that the wind has not let up for 71 minutes. Another shallow goal kick, the result. Vujica. De Silva. Cleverly spins away from the challenge. Jakovic. Closed down by Imai. And then fouls him. Stalling tactics employed by Macarthur to try and stop the immediate free kick, but Western United is still away quickly. Shamoon. Diagonal ball, an ambitious one. Vujica, now Jones. Curto, the safety net. Slanagic. Pass was timed to the second, and Bosniak was legged, free kick. Western United fans bringing the fence at pitch level. Bit of intrigue as more and more people give this stadium a go. It's only the 5th time that Western United have played an A-League men's game at Ironbark Field, so people still getting used to putting it in their GPS and getting out for a sticky beak at one of the newest venues in the competition. Jakovic. His attempt to tuck the ball inside was intercepted, but it's going to work out for Macarthur. They get another 15 metres and a throw.
You just wonder if John Aloisi will be thinking about going to his bench with a Michael Roos potentially. Memory serves me, he came off the bench last week and had a really good chance to grab a goal for his side.
He scored a double when these teams met last season, right here in the first ever game that was played in the A-League men's at Ironbark Fields. So he does have happy memories against his former club. Distribution a bit shaky here from Curto. Shamoon picked out Slanagic at the centre of defence rather than a teammate. Shaman helping out the midfield build-up. And now he's running ahead of the ball. He wanted one more pass to come his way. Bosniak. Now it finds Germain. All about the delivery. And important there. Leonard, he's going to run into his own teammate, but he blocked the cross. That was priority number 1. And now here he is on the ball. He refuses to be beaten.
Oh, it's great strength again by Leonard. He really is a player, mature beyond his years, isn't he? But that was the best passage of play Macarthur have put forward in this second half. Good swift passing move. 1 and 2 touch. Forged themselves into a good area.
Well, is that a subtle momentum shift? You flagged that Macarthur might be biding their time, waiting for the opportunity to catch Western United in a down moment. The leisure man had to come very deep in midfield to get that going, though. He wants to be on the end of the move. He doesn't want to be the one starting it.
Absolutely. He has been a bit of a lone ranger. They've really struggled to get the ball into those advanced areas.
Bosniak showing what he can do, able to shrug a couple of opponents, and then he wasn't able to force the pass out to Jakalic. Macarthur committed a few forward here, but that back pass is errant. Bratton trying to capitalise. Caught an arm from Bodic, but no foul. Edge of the box. Bosniak dispossessed. Maybe now gaps opening up. Ibasuki. Bodic. Adamson, the obstacle they couldn't pass. And now he sees Jakalic, and he's got space to roam here. Getting back to cover is Tate Russell. Jakalic goes to work. Oh, and the cross is let down at the end.
Well, that's a real letdown, particularly from a player who this season so far has been in good form, and I think that'll be his last interaction of the game.
It's former Western United player Tomislav Uskok coming on for Dino Arslanigic, and Walter Scott, from Perth Glory man via the Wollongong Wolves, is going to be coming on here for Marin Jakalic. So a couple of adjustments here from Macarthur. There's Scott. He comes on for his 17th appearance. And we will have to wait and see exactly what position now Tomislav Uskok takes up, because the two centre-backs that started the game are still out there. We're going a long way back, Mossy, but Uskok in his NPL days at the Melbourne Knights was a full-time midfielder. It's only really at A-League level that he's had to adjust and become a centre-back. So we'll wait and see how this shakes out. He's certainly got an aerial presence, and that might be handy here at this Luke Bratton free kick. Bratton swings it to the far post, and the new face Uskok was his target. And sails out for a goal kick.
Double substitution for Western United.
Western United making some subs. Rami Najarian coming on, and so is Jake Nidovsky. Riku Danzaki will be thinking back to his opportunity to score in the first half. And it's also time up for Noah Bodic. So he's unable to score in consecutive games. A frustrating day for him. And Rami Najarian, who is still looking for his first Western United A-League goal. 16 games, now 17 in a row at Western United without finding the back of the net. Maybe today will be his day. Here's Bosniak at the edge of the box, surrounded by green and black shirts, still able to get it to a teammate in Adamson. As we see Thurgate collide in midfield, the live ladder. A draw doesn't really help either team's push for the finals, at least not today. Who is going to step up and win this game and grab 3 precious points? An aimless long ball on this occasion. See Sutton coming out of his penalty area. Imai. Tamaki Imai. Given away. Bratton. Huietza. Uskok. He has slotted in at centre back, and he misses the target with his pass here. Straight to John Aloisi. Western United bench. Thurgate pops it over the top. Ibasuki. He can't make ground. He was there late, the veteran striker. Philip Curto diving down at his feet. He was onside, he timed it well.
Yeah, he did. The ball just running away from him. There's that breeze factor.
Great pass here, Isuzu, unable to take it and capitalise though, Nazarene. He was nearly set away by the pass from his centre forward. Jones. Found De Silva with the pass, but he couldn't bring it under his command. And now Thurgate's. Thurgate shooting, and it just kept sliding wide. And that was due seemingly to a deflection, which has taken the ball out for a corner. Here's another look at the Danny De Silva deflection on that shot.
Yeah, he did well to stay the course, Danny De Silva. Because if Thurgate had struck that unattended, just may have troubled Philip Curto. A little bit of bend from his left foot and the breeze behind it. Important piece of defending.
Can Thurgate produce a good corner? He's going to go short to Grimaldi instead. Western United mixing it up. Bozanovski. In the end, Scott is able to clear with a minimum of fuss.
It was all too rushed. In the end, by the time we got to Bozanovski, he was feeling the pressure. The Macarthur backline did well to get out quickly. So he knew he had to deliver quickly to keep his attacking players on side.
Isuzu, and the header is saved at point blank. And the follow-up goes wide. Great chance for Jake Najdovski on the end of Isuzu's cross.
Well, how sharp was that? Firstly from Najdovski, and secondly from Philip Curto. Here's the build-up from Western. I dare say Isuzu may have just been offside. Maybe just. But Najdovski wasn't to know that, neither was Curto. If Macarthur do walk away from here with a point or three today, there's the offside there. I think it's just his left foot maybe. If they do walk away with something from today's game, Macarthur, they've got their goalkeeper to thank.
Could be a very long 8 minutes plus stoppage for Macarthur. Do they have a surprise up their sleeve to try and win this game against the run? It's been Western United's second half everywhere bar the scoreboard. Now Jones wins a throw in here. Germain brings the ball down. De Silva. Macarthur trying to move. Everything slows down just for a moment though. Bosniak turned right into the clutches of Leonard, and the ball is ushered out, albeit with a touch. It's going to be a corner kick. Is this the late opportunity that Macarthur need? They've spent so little time down in their attacking half since the halftime break. Luke Bratton get it spot on with this corner kick. Uscock flew, Leonard stood his ground. Now the ball is volleyed away by Nazarene.
Well, again, the youngest defender on the field. One of the most important headers of the game. He stood tall, Leonard. He's been outstanding today. Really has. Someone who's been in and out the last 3 weeks. To stand up the way he has today has been very impressive.
Midfield scrap here. We've got a Macarthur player prone, and the ball is won away. Nearly for Grimaldi. Najdovski couldn't quite thread the eye of the needle. Bosniak, errant pass. Nazarene to Thurgates. Thurgates straight back into a cluster of Macarthur players. Through comes Imai. Now Shamoon. And Oscott clears it away.
Well, that would have been very interesting. If Western had gone away and scored then, Liam Rose was almost like a kicking bag on the turf. No foul given by Alex King.
Nidovsky's come on with real purpose. Now the long shot is on, but just caught a late deflection, and Philip Curto, who had already taken a knee to try and field the ball, nearly caught out by Tate Russell.
He almost took the stance of an outfield cricketer to reel that ball in.
Another giveaway, and now Western trying to return it with interest. Uscock a crunching challenge at the edge of the box. Saves the day for Macarthur. It won't be a very long 5 minutes if this is how the game continues for them, playing out from the back.
Well, that was a crunching tackle by Uscock, wasn't it? No doubt keen to show his boss why he should be starting.
No surprise to see Philip Curto has risen to the top of the Paramount Plus Player Index. We will check back in with that as part of the post-game show. You can see it's very close. 1 goal and that will be turned on its head. Valère Germain trying to be the provider, hangs it too close to the keeper. And Sutton, who's had precious little work to do in this second half, still on his game.
Yeah, he watched that all the way into the breadbasket, didn't he, Sutton? Had good shape on it from Germain. Just a little bit too close to the Western goalkeeper. Well, as it stands, the visitors will be happier than the home side, so can Western force this?
Scott veering away from the penalty area. Vujica. Rose. Uscock. Adamson. Kelly Adamson, a hopeful cross. Didn't have much to aim for in the box. And now a big ricochet. Even though there's a burst of speed from Nidovsky, Ollie Jones has it covered. And now Jones. See it back to his keeper, Curto. Tension has ramped up just a little as both teams are now acutely aware that a goal wins it either way.
As much as I've been rapping young Dylan Leonard, you've got to tip your hat to Ollie Jones as well. I mentioned early in the game Teo, his lack of minutes. He's done very well to last this distance.
Tate Russell. Straight to Bratton. Thurgates. Nazarene. Grimaldi. Around the corner he went, and Bosniak was standing in the right place. De Silva. Germain. A curling ball here, nearly for Bosniak. Well, the body language of Germain, you can see the frustration. He thought he'd played the necessary killer pass to win the game.
Oh, and he's got the quality to do it as well, Germain. It's almost like he stuck his finger up in the breeze, tested it, the strength of the wind, tried to pick the pass perfectly. Just had a little bit too much on it.
Don't forget the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's continues tomorrow. You saw there, 4:55 p.m. Victory against Perth Glory, and then Central Coast Mariners against Sydney FC. 2 cracking contests coming up tomorrow on Paramount Plus. Up and underheader here from Leonard. And now all the little improvised volley to Silva. Didn't meet it with any real power. The swirling breeze proving tough to win headers in the penalty area. And it really just fell onto the shin of De Silva. Almost was a shot on goal by accident. Does the game have a goal in it? Does it have a winner? 1 minute of regulation, and then we'll find out stoppage. Germain through the left. Vujica motoring up to the ball. Hangs it high for the headers. And there was no power on the header of Adamson.
Well, is there a sting in the tail here for Western? Because Macarthur, there's the little stab from Danny De Silva. Here's Vujica hanging it up for Keely Adamson to attack it. Second time in the last few minutes that Macarthur have just started to ask a couple of questions late on.
How badly does either team want to win this game? How much would they prefer a point and a share of the spoils? Free kick, Macarthur. Taken backwards and sideways as we move into 3 additional minutes to end the game. It's been a brisk second half, few delays, and thus only 3 more minutes to find a winner. Shamoon. And the ball did find its way out. It's a Macarthur ball once again. De Silva trying to make the most of it. He's caught there by Imai.
Gee, I don't remember the last time we had 1 minute of injury time at half-time and then 3 at full-time.
It's the old standard, Mossy. That's what a lot of games used to be for about, I don't know, the 90s all the way through to the mid-2010s.
Exactly my point. It's been a while since we've seen that flash up in the one game.
Given away here. And Thurgate back to help out the defence. One defensive slip, one misplaced pass. Could be the difference between a draw and a win now. It's De Silva. Macarthur trying to find an opening. Scott. Germain. Germain. Away from goalie Beers. And you suspected the offside flag was going to have a say there. He just appeared to grab a metre that he wasn't entitled to, and the assistant referee agrees.
Yeah, and an anticlimax for Macarthur fans as well, no doubt. They've done well to fashion the ball into that area of the field.
Shamoon, Western United, can they grab a last-minute winner? They can't even find the penalty area. Bosniak, De Silva, Macarthur trying to smash and grab. Germain had run offside. And the grab of the shirt of Thurgate might have condemned this one to a scoreless draw. These two teams had not kept a clean sheet between them this season, Mossy. Does this game have a winning goal? There are only seconds to sort it out. A hopeful cross. Ibasuki. And he gets entangled by Jones. One last hurrah. The crowd agitated. They want the ball in the penalty area. Leonard. Can he find the right pass to the 17-year-old? He defers to Shamoon. Shamoon's cross. Grimaldi. Turned away from the target. Adamson. Left the ball behind. Shamoon. Still a bit of panic. Bozanovsky. And now Shamoon. And Luke Bratton, the old stager, comes through. Still no full-time whistled yet. There it is. And that shot wouldn't have counted had it hit the target. Both teams slumped to their knees. The disappointment of a scoreless draw writ large across Western United and Macarthur. And sides desperate for a win outside that top six know that they have let the competition take another stride away from them this weekend. Macarthur spent the second half defending. It is a hard-fought point for them. And Western United will be left to lament the absence of a finishing touch on a day where it did feel for long stages like we were counting down to the home side scoring the breakthrough goal. They do at least keep a clean sheet at Ironbark Fields for the first time. because it finished Western United 0, Macarthur FC 0.
This evening, Western United nil and nil. So much football to come. Thanks for coming out tomorrow.
Phil Moss, was a 0-0 draw a fair reflection of the afternoon's football?
Well, I think it's fair reward for Macarthur's grit and determination, but from Johnny Aloisi and Western United's point of view, they had enough chances to probably win 2, possibly 3 games of football this afternoon, so they'll be ruining 2 points that got away. I've got no doubt about that.
Did a game like this where you got to bat first with the win in the first half. Macarthur perhaps didn't know exactly the advantage they had, because Western United really forced the issue in a far more aggressive sense, particularly I think for the first 20-25 minutes of the second half. It seems as though as soon as the teams turned to the bench, that's where the game started to lose a bit of the momentum it had created.
Yeah, and that often happens, but certainly Western, I thought, handled the conditions quite well in both halves today. They created chances in both halves, and ultimately that's the litmus test. They just couldn't execute any of them. Philip Curto, that man in picture, was partly the reason for that. I thought he was fantastic for Macarthur today. But certainly Johnny Aloisi will be pleased with the reaction he got from last week, no doubt, but not the 3 points.
Here are your Alex Tobin medal votes. Phil Moss, talk us through your 3-2-1.
Well, let's start with Curto, and I just mentioned him, so we won't go there again. Danzaki, I thought, was very lively, particularly in the first half for Western. And Dylan Leonard, I'm really impressed with this kid. He's got a maturity beyond his years. He came up with some really important challenges today, but I just thought he was very cool, calm and collected at the back for Western.
And he is our Isuzu UTE player of the match, who joins us now as part of our post-game show. Dylan, congratulations on a hard-fought point, but you must be frustrated the team wasn't able to leave with all 3.
Yeah, I was very, very proud of the boys' effort today. I thought we won our battles and we're just a bit unlucky not to get 3 points.
And Dylan, you're learning the ups and downs of professional football this season. How have you dealt with the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been, look, every game has been different challenges, and obviously there's been ups and downs, but all the boys have been amazing, like helping me every single day at training, and I really enjoying it.
And what's been the main messages to you as a young player? Obviously you had to deal with a really good performance and then a red card in the same game, and then prepare yourself to come back in today. What's been some of the messages shared with you?
It was just to keep playing with confidence, like make mistakes, like learn from them and just move on straight away and keep playing.
What about John Aloisi during the week? He was obviously quite fired up after the loss to Melbourne Victory. Did you notice anything different about his messaging to the boys preparing for this game?
Nah, look, we've been playing the same way every week. The message has been the same. It's just more win our battles, which we didn't do against Victory. But I think we've really competed every single game. This week wasn't much different. It was just gone back to being a bit more simple and winning our 50-50s.
And given it is only early days in your professional career, do you like to watch your footage back? Do you self-assess? Do you leave it to the coaches? How do you review your performances as you take your first steps in A-League level football?
Yeah, I watch mine. I watch my clips back, but there's a lot of very good coaches with Foxy, he's not here now, but with Dura, like they've all been very good with me. We go through our clips every week and like small details just to try and get better every game.
Well, hopefully that improvement continues. Congratulations on being our player of the match today, and hey, hopefully another win isn't too far away. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Dylan Leonard, our Isuzu UTE player of the match. Great to hear from a 17-year-old centre-back with great confidence and hopefully a very bright future for this club and in the A-League. We've got more coming up on the other side of this break, more reaction from this game. Stay with us on Paramount Plus.